What's going on, good people? It's your boy Eric Taylor. Taylor to you, Astrology. I'm back. You voted, so I have a new house series. This is Saturn in the first house of your natal birth chart. Okay? And like always, please read the description down below. If you enjoy this video after you watch it, and hopefully you watch the whole thing, please like, share, comment down below if you or a family member has Saturn in the first house and how it might play out for you. It's going to be different through every sign, and it can be even more intense if it's right next to the ascendant, within 3 degrees either way, like conjunct the ascendant, or even 5 degrees. Let's talk about Saturn. What is it? This karmic planet. It's the last planet you see with the naked eye. Saturn is Sabado, Saturday. The ancients used to look at Saturn, as more of the indicator for, suffering or death and stuff like that. Now with more modern planets, we can see different placements and different houses. But Saturn itself is structure, limitations, fears, anxieties, order, organization, discipline, duty, responsibility. It's teaches you karmic lessons, right? It's law and order. It slows down time, Father Time, right? We live in a Saturnian bubble, the matrix. Saturn itself is at home in Capricorn and Aquarius, sort of like the stern grandma, Capricorn, and Aquarius, the stern grandfather. I'm trying to let this wind calm down. It's kind of windy, but that's okay. The show must go on. And Saturn is exalted in the sign of Libra, the scales. Okay? What's the first house? The ascendant, the first house, your rising sign, same thing, is the time you were born at the eastern horizon. To the east, my brother, to the east. In the sky, whatever your ascendant is, the sign was in the zodiac belt at the time that you were born in the eastern horizon. So you could be the Aries all the way through the Pisces, right? This is your physical appearance, your outer mask, the 3 sort of elements that describe your personality: sun, moon, and rising. The rising sign also really can describe it's the I am energy, right? That sort of Aries, right? You're born, it's the birth, right? The second house is like the toddler. So this is a very strong identity, and this sign would tell you, it shows your chart ruler on the ascendant, the first house. Now, if you have Saturn here, Saturn plays a very important thing as a planet in your first house. So then you'll look in the chart and see, if you're not a Capricorn or Aquarius rising, you want to look where Capricorn and Aquarius is at in the chart, because that will light up that house. Okay? I'm a Western tropical astrologer. I use the whole sign system. So let's talk about it in this situation. Number 1, you can be kind of like an old soul. When you have Saturn on the ascendant, it plays out a multitude of ways. And the sign does vary, because I mentioned Capricorn, Aquarius, and Libra, but Saturn, it's like the physical structures, right? Oh, sorry, it's also the authority, the government. So, and Saturn kind of represents the common people, right? Society, these structures. So sorry, just watching things swirl around with the wind. I did say fear, anxiety, limitations, time, all that stuff. Yeah, I definitely did. So, but what will happen here is that, one, when you're born, you sometimes can have issues with your stomach, digestion. Now, that will play out depending, or some sort of, maybe even a physical ailment. But this can play out, differently with each sign. There'll be less issues, fears, and anxieties and limitations and restrictions if you're a Libra, Capricorn, or Aquarius. Saturn in general is asking you in this lifetime to respond to your abilities, be more disciplined, structured. It's also hard work. So work hard, get organized, and then Saturn, the great malefic, it's a malefic planet, can bring you greater blessings than Jupiter or Venus. So if you have Saturn in Virgo, maybe you have issues with your stomach and digestion, eating food. You have it in Gemini, you could have some issues maybe with the wrist or the shoulders, hands, lungs, One thing that you might notice, there could have been a past life energy with some vanity. So maybe you had like a, Leo or Gemini South Node. Just saying, check your chart, you never know. So in this lifetime, there's more of restrictions placed upon you early on in life. There can be some health issues. Saturn on the ascendant, though, I'll tell you this, can make you shorter or at the average height. So the woman 5'4", 5'4.5", 5'5", the man around 5'9". Now if you have other placements, don't be atting me. If you have other placements there, it can change that. But if it's just Saturn on the ascendant, it can, keep you sort of at the average height. Now that can change if this is Libra, Capricorn, or Aquarius ascendant with Saturn there. Okay. But I've definitely noticed that there's also this Benjamin Button element where you can be very mature and serious as a child and like this old soul, and you like to be around older people. And then as you age, not only can you live a longer life, but as you age, you become more childlike, more youthful, more, because it's less pressures and restrictions, and like that drive to achieve, it kind of dissipates over time. As that Saturn matures, usually between 33 and 36. Okay? As you're getting into not just the return, but the square, the Saturn square. So in the 4th house. You'll find that people that have Saturn on the ascendant, they can be more mature than their counterparts. So if you have a child with this, and let's say they're 14, but they can be more responsible. They come home, they do their homework. Not saying they won't give you teenage issues, because that's just hormonal, right? But they might handle their schoolwork first and then be a rebel rouser and make you crazy. But Saturn, they tend to, even though they might have these inner fears and be a little pessimistic and anxieties, when they have to respond to their abilities, and even at 14 their first job, or 16 their first job, and they'll be on time, they'll handle their business, they'll be professional with their work. They could be a childhood actor and they'll just be so on point and professional. There's this inner maturity, this self-governing that they have, and it comes like supernatural to them. It's beautiful to watch, Also, this can mean that they live with a grandparent when they were born, because Saturn represents older people, or their parents might have been older, like over 30 or over 32 when they had them. That can be a reason why you have Saturn on the ascendant. And I don't know if you guys know, but you can look through your chart and your parents and your kids, and sometimes certain placements are passed, I feel like they're passed on through the lineage. You could see from the parents, grandparents, you know. Saturn is definitely, you know, got that. I think that they are very realistic about life when you have Saturn on the ascendant. And they can have different health issues, but it's like there's a relatability to the collective and other people. I guess when you have it on the ascendant, you kind of see life for how it really is. Way more mature than their friends and counterparts. Sometimes, you know, and a couple, you know, I like to go into it all over the place, but a couple famous people with this, Princess Diana, Eartha Kitt, Katy Perry, Britney Spears, who else? I thought I saw Lana Del Rey, but don't, you know, I'm not 100% sure on that one, so I don't like to just throw it out there if I'm not sure like that. But I think those other people definitely have that. So sometimes your parents, or Katy Perry, right, they were very religious. Sometimes you could have very strict, you know, authoritative parents who put limitations or restrictions on you growing up compared to maybe your other friends in your community, right? And Saturn can also, you know, it can really give the native like this, like, you know what I'm gonna say? Can give them like this timeless feeling. Remember I said the Benjamin Button, but it's almost like they just, it's hard to explain. Very rarely do I have issues finding the words, but for this placement, because of how Saturn works, they're just like timeless, you know. I guess it's a little bit of magic, but it almost throws things off in terms of how you see them. So they could be the Libra ascendant, the Sag, Gemini ascendant, whatever, but that Saturn, it can make them seem like they've been here before. And of course they have, probably. Okay. So, other things you might look for is they can have like a mechanical skill, because Saturn is like structures, but it can sometimes be machinery. So this could be, you know, maybe a good cook, good artist, good building things, you know, I know this sounds weird, but really super good with Legos. But there's this structure about them. They know how to structure things. It's like a little mini interior decorator, you know. So I like this placement. It can be challenging. I think the one thing that, you know, can happen is as they get older, they might feel like, oh, they had some restrictions in their childhood. And so then they might rebel 17 to 25, or even the Saturn returns at 28. But the key is for this, if you have a child that has this, or if you had it, just make sure the more you put in the structures, get disciplined, and respond to your abilities, that Saturn return, as the cerebral cortex matures in the brain and the medulla oblongata, when you really become an adult between 28 and 30, if you have been responsible and you are, you know, looking at the sign, and obviously this is the first house, but responding to those abilities and being disciplined, Saturn will bless you, and the Saturn return will be nothing to fear. And you should never fear it. Never fear any planet. Understand the energy and try to vibrate high with it, compared to vibrating low with it. And I think you'll be great. I really do. I really do. And reach out to me so you can get your birth chart done and understand your Saturn. And it's a very dry planet, right? So, Saturn on the ascendant, you can get dehydrated easily. So, bebo más agua, drink your water, okay? That is definite. And the sign on the ascendant of the Saturn can show you what some of those abilities are. Some of those places where you need structure and to get more organized. Okay? So please, like always, come join my Patreon. Got a lot of exclusive content there. Might start doing some lives there on Patreon, but check that out. Also, come visit me on TikTok, at Twitter, it's at Taylor2C, and at Big 3 Astrology, Instagram, Facebook, Taylor2 Coaching, and hope you can join me. Usually the second Sunday of each month. February, March are amazing. April, it's Sunday, April 10th, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Astrological Coffee Talk with Eric. $15, 90 minutes over Zoom, building community. I teach an astrology lesson, and it's a great group of people, and we're just learning astrology and sharing and exchanging placements and having fun. Okay? It's time. It's time to, take care of your duty, and the restrictions and disciplines to build. Right? That's what Saturn does. It's about building structures. So I'm building Coffee Talk, talking about astrology with you. So just book it and email me for any of my services. Woo! The storm. Hit me up, Taylor2Coaching@gmail.com. Saturn on the ascendant. You would think I was doing Uranus with all this wind, but it's just Saturn. All right. Eric Taylor. Taylor2 Coaching. Taylor2 Astrology. Transforming your lives one birth chart at a time. Peace. Bye, Saturn in the first house. Later.